Hey friends, welcome to One Flight Down Basement Beer Tastings and the finale of this year's Pumpkin Beer Showdown!
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween. One Flight Down.
All right, people. It's been a hard-fought battle, but we're here. We're just a couple days before Halloween, and we are here for the finale of the Pumpkin Beer Showdown. We've got 3 beers that I'm going to say none of them won their round easily. There was a lot of competition to get to where they are, and since I'm the only one drinking this and trying this, I had a hard time deciding which ones should move on. We have 2 beers from right here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. We've got another one that is from Ontario. We did have 1 American beer in the showdown, but it did not advance to the finals. Again, very, very close round. I think I'm going to do these today in the order that they got into the finals. So we will start off with Witching Hour from Torque Brewing. Torque Brewing, again, here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. It is a dark pumpkin ale. It is 6.5% alcohol, 30 IBUs. Let's crack this open. And I decided I had to find some similar glassware for all these, and I thought I'd go with my little brown jug glass because I actually had 3 of these. And I don't feel bad because they didn't do a pumpkin beer, so it's not like they could have made it to the finals anyway. All right, let's pour this one out. All right, look at the color on that, huh? That is a very dark beer. Dark pumpkin ale is true. Under the light, yeah, look at that. Look how dark that is. That's almost like a, looks almost like a stout. So getting more, I seem to remember this one not having a ton on the nose, but I'm actually getting a little bit this time. Not so much the pumpkin, but definitely like the nutmeg, cloves, maybe cinnamon, some other ingredients that you would get in, say, like a pumpkin pie or the pumpkin spice latte or that kind of thing. All right, going in for a sip. Cheers. Now, I said on the nose, the notes were predominantly the other ingredients you would get with, say, a pumpkin pie, like the cloves and that kind of thing. I'm getting more pumpkin than anything else on the taste. Body is medium and a fairly creamy mouthfeel. Yeah, not bad, pretty good. It beat out a stout from Good Neighbor, which was also quite good. But when I had them head to head, I think what gave this one the edge was that it just had more of a pumpkin taste and more of a traditional pumpkin beer. And yeah, I'm definitely still getting that pumpkin. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. All right, next up, from Ontario. This is a beer I got from my buddy Drew at Beer for Breakfast, Facts for Snacks. It's from the Bobcaygeon Brewing Company. It is called Sweet Tooth. And I don't know why I gotta show you the name there and then the brewery like that. It's a lot of work. It's not a lot of work. It's a pumpkin spice latte. 8.7% alcohol. 8.7. I forgot how strong this one was. Yeah. All right. Let's crack it open. And what I remember about this one is it beat out one from the Indeed Brewery in Minnesota, Minneapolis. And that one was like a pumpkin and pistachio beer. And I think it just kind of lost points for just being heavier on the pistachio than the pumpkin. And, you know, this is a pumpkin beer showdown, not a pistachio beer showdown. Okay, the nose, it smells way boozier than the last one. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it definitely smells some booziness on this. And cinnamon. Yeah, very strong cinnamon note on the nose. All right, let's go in for a taste. Cheers. All right. Mouthfeel now is creamier than the Torque, which I really like. The flavor is way more cinnamon than anything else. I get the pumpkin as well, but it's really strong on the cinnamon compared to this one. Oh, you pretty good when they're side by side though. Yeah, so I like them both, and I like them both in different ways and for different reasons. I find this, the Torque, has more of just a traditional pumpkin taste, and this might be too strong on the cinnamon, but I really like the creaminess of the mouthfeel. Yeah. All right, and third up. I just realized I'm going to have to finish these 3 beers when this is over. Oh, it's such a hard life. Oh, yeah. This one is from the Good Neighbour Brewing Company, again, here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. The last one, Bobcaygeon, of course, is in Bobcaygeon, Ontario. I should have said that. I said it now. So Good Neighbour here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And the only brewery this year to have 2 beers in the Pumpkin Beer Showdown. It was a finalist last year as well. It did not win. It went up against 2 beers from the Flying Monkeys Brewing Company, neither of which I could find here this year. So, not represented. So, Paranormal from Flying Monkeys won last year. It is not here to defend its title. Will Pumpkin Pie be the winner this year? I don't know. Let's crack it open and see. Pumpkin Pie is the lightest of the 3 of these, too, I believe. In terms of alcohol content, 4.8% alcohol. Let's pour this out. Also lightest in color. All right. Yeah, much lighter in color. Still very cloudy though, still can't see anything through that. But definitely a lighter color, and Little Brown Jug's getting a lot of free advertising on today's show. On the nose. Okay. I'm getting almost like a sour note. Does it say anywhere on here about this being a sour? I don't remember that. Pale ale brewed with fresh pumpkin, ground nutmeg, and cinnamon, then topped with a dollop of milk, sugar, and vanilla. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about sour, but there's something on the nose that reminds me of a sour. Like a fruitiness, like I don't know what that is. I also do get though the lactose, the milk, like it smells a lot like the whipped cream you get with your pumpkin pie. Not so much the pie itself, but the whipped cream that comes with the pumpkin pie. So this should be interesting. All right, going in for a sip. Cheers. Not as good. It's such a different take on the pumpkin beer than the others. It's got a creaminess, but also a light body, but there's a creamy mouthfeel. I taste the pumpkin probably more in that than anything else, but it's balanced out with everything else. Like you've got all those other flavors in there, like the cinnamon and the milk sugar, like the whipped cream, right? But you still get the pumpkin in there. Yeah, it's pretty balanced. I would say the aftertaste on this one is where the pumpkin hits you the most. Like right on the end, like it kind of finishes pumpkin. But everything else about it up to that is more like about the whipped cream and the other flavors in there. All right, these are three totally different takes on pumpkin beers, and they look completely different from each other. Look at this. Let's bring this in a little closer here and just take a look at these beers and how wildly different the three of them are for all being a pumpkin beer. But again, very different takes on the pumpkin beer. Yeah, these are all wildly different beers. Man, I like things about all of them. So I'm going to have to go back through them. And, I mean, doing the taste on Torque immediately after doing the Bobcaygeon, it had a very different quality to it. So I'm trying my best here. Maybe I'll cleanse the palate a little first. I'll cleanse the palate. That's probably a good idea. All right, palate's been cleansed. I just took a minute of a break there as well. All right, how am I going to do them now? I did them in the order before of what, how they made it into the final. Thinking right now, maybe I could do color or I could do alcohol content. I feel like alcohol content is what I'm going to do. So, working my way up, it'll be pumpkin pie at 4.8%. The Torque Witching Hour at 6.5. And then the Bobcaygeon at the whopping 8.1. Yeah, 8.1. I was making sure I wasn't reading that wrong. Okay, here we go. It's such a neat beer. Like, to be that creamy and dessert-like, but still be light-bodied is really interesting to me. Usually the more desserty beers I have are heavier-bodied beers. That's really interesting. Okay, Bobcaygeon. It's very robust. Probably the most robust of all of them. I just think it's too strong on the cinnamon to win. I think it's too strong on the cinnamon to win the pumpkin beer showdown because it's more pumpkin flavor, or sorry, more cinnamon flavor than pumpkin flavor. So I've ruled one out. There we go. All right, Torque Brewing's Witching Hour. Okay, it's good. I still taste the pumpkin in there. But honestly, it's got nothing on the Good Neighbor. Your winner of the Pumpkin Beer Showdown, everyone. Good Neighbor Brewing's Pumpkin Pie. I gotta be honest, last year, part of me was like, I was so sure I was just going to give it the vote because, you know, local beer over Ontario beers. How much better could they be? The Paranormal was just so good last year. I wish I had the Paranormal right now to compare the two. It would be really interesting to see because that is, again, a wildly different beer. That's probably the strongest. I think it's 10 point something %. It is definitely the strongest pumpkin beer I've ever had. And this is probably the lightest. And they're both very flavorful, but in very, very different ways. I just think what Good Neighbor's done with this is it's really unique. I find a lot of time with pumpkin beers, they pack a lot in there, right? They're packing a lot of flavors in there, and they're not always balanced right for me. And that was a slight problem with the Bobcaygeon, was I just found the cinnamon overpowered everything. That was the issue with the one I did from Minnesota, the Indeed. I found it was like the pistachio was way too strong on it. This here balances out the flavors so well, and it still has this light body. It's just like, yeah, it's a really unique beer. So congratulations to the Good Neighbor Brewing Company here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I really like their stuff. A little embarrassed to say I've not stopped into the brewery on Sherbrooke Street yet, but I do intend to do that in the near future. But yeah, if just because I haven't doesn't mean that you shouldn't. You should get out there and check the place out. They've got some great beers. I mean, so does Torque, so does Bobcaygeon. I mean, we're living in good beer times, people. Good beer times. All right, thank you all for dropping by the Terry Isle Basement Pub. We'll see you all again real soon, friends. Cheers.